Good afternoon and congratulations. We are very glad to welcome you today to your graduation ceremony. To celebrate your success, we will have 5 speakers with us today. We will have first the president of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris, then 2 of your fellow graduates. We will then have a keynote speaker, Remy, and we will finish with the last word by Yves Laszlo, chairman of IP Paris Education and Research Committee. We will now start the ceremony with the opening speech by Éric Labaille, president of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris. Éric, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Astrid, for this introduction. And dear masters of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris, class of 2020, it is such an honor to welcome and celebrate all of you today for your well-deserved graduation. I would like first to sincerely congratulate all of you on it. You are 609 brilliant students to receive this degree, and each of you should be proud of it. It is a token of your excellent skills, the hard work, and the unwavering commitment you have demonstrated throughout the years at Institut Polytechnique de Paris. In those challenging times that we have been living for a year now, I hope first that you and your families have been in good health, and I send my support to those whose relatives have been affected by the current pandemic. I know you'd have preferred to enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime moment together, but as you know, the current priority is your health, and we had no other choice to celebrate virtually instead. But our priority today is to make this moment as memorable as possible and unique for you. It represents a major step towards into your future career. When you decided to join us and to be part of this very first class of the master program at Institut Polytechnique de Paris that we conducted with Université Paris-Saclay, you demonstrated that you understood our project, 5 historic schools, which have been training highly skilled engineers in their respective and complementary fields for nearly 300 years, joining forces to train and expand, to train future leaders, to expand their programs, to continue their research of excellence and impact. Coming from all over the world, from different backgrounds and life experiences, you are not afraid to entrust our institute with your higher education and your development as a young adult. For those of you who had not lived or been in France before, it was surely a bold and mature move at a young age, and you should be proud of that step as it was determinant for your success. The 5 schools, in cooperation with Université Paris-Saclay, created unique courses, programs anchored in the French scientific rigor, theoretical approach, while cultivating human relations within a diverse and international environment. And you are a living proof of that diversity. Almost half of you are internationals, a majority of you coming from China, Morocco, Iran, Lebanon, or Tunisia, and more than a quarter of you are women. Through your assets as a group and individually, as well as your fierce involvement in each of the 17 programs, you have played your part in the ambition to position IP Paris as a leading education and research institution, both in France and internationally. By graduating from this master's degree, you signify that, like your outstanding professors, you believe in the power of science and technology to first respond to the rapid changes and transformations. Second, to shape a brighter and more sustainable future for society as a whole. Whether you are going to work in health, electrical engineering, computer science, or physics, you are all united around the common values which IP Paris instilled in you or helped you develop. First, excellence and talent. You show proof of it through your overall academic performance. More than 80% of you pass with distinction, and more than 1/3 of you with the highest distinction. I'm truly impressed by your considerable work, and I want to tell you, well done. You should be proud of this achievement as you do honor to our schools. Please join me also in thanking your teachers, professors, and your program directors as well, as they have also been active contributors to your academic success. Second, a strong belief in the power of collectiveness, diversity, and open-mindedness to move mountains. The different group projects and internships in which you took part showed you the importance of teamwork and helped you gain interpersonal skills highly sought after in the professional world and crucial to feel fulfilled in your future career and to build impactful initiatives. Finally, innovation, empowered by partnerships between every society's stakeholders, including the industrial world. You know this is necessary to tackle major economic and societal challenges, including clean energy, climate change, artificial intelligence, data analysis, biomedical engineering, cybersecurity. I hope you took full advantage of the rich networks we are lucky to have at Institut Polytechnique de Paris. As your names will appear on the screen throughout the ceremony, you will probably look back at your experience on campus of IP Paris, full of amazing memories, I hope. I would like you to also think about what this diploma means to you and how you will be able to make use of it in your future career. You have the potential and in fact the responsibility to shape the world of tomorrow. You can make a difference, especially since you are a strong and resilient class, as your last year was challenging and called for your capacity to adapt, your motivation in the context of an international pandemic. Think big and collectively. Don't forget about those values that you gain on our campus and always strive to uphold them in your professional and personal lives. You are carving out the way for your peers behind you and are not only the first ambassadors of our master programs all around the world, but also ambassadors of the French education and France in general. Continue to aspire to inspire others with humility and humanity. So again, my sincere congratulations to all of you, class of 2020 from the Masters of Institut Polytechnique de Paris, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you, Eric, for that great speech. As stated by Eric, all your names, the 609 graduates, will appear during all the ceremony, starting in a few seconds. We're now welcoming our next speaker, Jonah Mota, who graduated this year in physics and is currently pursuing a PhD at Institut Polytechnique de Paris. Jonah, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Astrid. I would like to start, first of all, by thanking the organizers of this ceremony, because it was not easy to organize something like this during this period. And I want to thank the president of Institut Polytechnique, Mr. Labaye, because this opportunity is really, as he said, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it was not possible for us to miss it. And even if we are not all together, meeting in person, we really feel the vicinity that we have with one another. And it's a great pleasure for me to speak today in front of all of you, in front of all my peers, and in front of all my friends. So as was said, my name is Jonah Motta. I am Italian, and I studied at École Polytechnique in the academic year 2019-2020. I graduated, as all of you, in 2020, and I pursued the double master degree program in high energy physics, which is held by École Polytechnique and ETH in Zurich. And it's a great partnership that allows students from all over the world to experience this great program and to study in this high level and high profile program. As was said, right now I'm doing a PhD here at École Polytechnique. I am working at Laboratoire Le Prince Ranguet, and I am working on the CMS experiment. So I am doing double Higgs boson searches. And yeah, for those of you who maybe do not know the CMS experiment, it is one of the 4 big experiments at the proton accelerator at CERN. Now, what I would like to convey today by having this speech is some thoughts and some feelings that I have after having finished my studies, and some feelings that I have about my permanence at École Polytechnique. And I hope that what I say will be the voice of the thoughts and what all of us feel about the everything that we've done up to now. The first thing that I want to say is by starting from the words of the president of Institut Polytechnique, which are words like excellence, talent, teamwork. I'm actually reading on the little notes that I've taken, and this is really what drove us during these years of studies. Another thing that the president said, and I really want to stress it again, is the internationality and the diversity that we have in our master programs. In my case, I did 1 year in ETH in Zurich, and then another year here in Paris. And in my program, we are roughly 10 people that every year start on each side. And these people are not only people, but are really friends, close friends of mine. And these are the great bonds that can only be created in environments as the ones that we experience here at École Polytechnique. Because I think that even more important than the preparation that the university can give us is the personal growth and the ability, the possibility to create a more inclusive society, first of all in Europe, because this is, let's say, our place where we live, and on top of that, if possible, to create a more unique and more inclusive worldwide society. And this is really what I take with me of these 2 years, great bonds that are hugely important for the work that we are going to do, but that are even more important for the society that we are going to build in the future. Now, let's, I mean, it is obvious that now I want to go a little bit more into detail about the process that I followed during these 2 years. So as for all of us, the first year was devoted to exams and having our knowledge to be built. And so for me, it was at ETH. And at ETH, we had also this cool thing, which is really great. And here at École Polytechnique is done in a slightly different way through the labs, which was called Semesterarbeit, and which is the possibility to work during the first year of the masters with high-profile researchers in order to understand how our life could be in the future. And I hope that all of you that are connected now had the possibility to experience what I experienced, which was really the vibrant people, the vibrant environment that was there with me working, and which is right now working with me. And another thing that I really noticed, and it hit me, it struck me, is the resilience that all of us and all of the people had to COVID. We know that research, especially, is done through human contact, and the possibility to exchange ideas. Now, COVID has, in a sense, blocked the possibility to do it in first person, but we really found our strength in doing this and having the possibility to do it at distance, like we are doing right now. So this is also something that I think we should be proud of in our master's class, because we really were able to take the worst that was happening to us and turn it into the best thing that could have been. And so really, thank you to all the people that also made this possible for us, because of course it wasn't easy for us to be so resilient, but it wouldn't have been possible without the help of all the people at École Polytechnique. And another thing that I would like to stress is how much the knowledge that we acquire doing our masters can be then used for what we do next. For me, in the specific case, I mean, going to a PhD was extremely smooth and extremely easy in a sense, because all that I've studied was not just for the sake of it, but for the sake of having a basic knowledge to build on when we have to do the work that we are going to do next. So again, thank you to all the professors. They are really great professors, and we really have to be thankful to have them. And yeah, these are my thoughts. I mean, I had a lot of notes to follow, but honestly, I just didn't follow them because really these feelings that I have for École Polytechnique and for ETH are huge. And it's great to have been part of something like this. And so thank you. And now I would like to end my little intervention, my little speech by quoting a poem by Alfred Tennyson, which is something that I always bring with me because it's something that really drove me in my years of studies, and now it's driving me to do my PhD. And I hope that it can be inspirational for all of you that are following this. And so this is it. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic arts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. And so this is really something that I hope we will always be able to do, to strive, to seek, to find, and never to yield, as we've done in the last years, and as we are going to do, thanking all that came before us and helping those that will come after us. So thank you all for the attention.
Thank you very much, Anna. It was a great speech. Thank you for sharing your experience. We are now going to welcome our third speaker and one of your other fellow graduates, Félix Pasquier, who graduated this year in economics and is currently pursuing a PhD at Institut Polytechnique de Paris. Félix, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Astrid, for this introduction. It is a great honor to speak today for the first graduation ceremony of IP Paris master students. I would like to thank you and also Delphine Duprat, Alice Jacques, and the whole IP Paris administration for organizing this event. They have put a lot of effort to ensure that we can all be together this evening. Then I would like to congratulate each and every one of you, my fellow graduates. Our hard work has paid off. We can be proud of ourselves. And I really insist on this because we had to deal with the worldwide pandemic on top of challenging scientific notions. Now that we are done, I think it is important to wonder about what is going to define us, IP Paris graduates. In particular, what are the skills that we have all acquired? What are the values that have been inculcated in us during our years on the plateau? Let's be practical and start with the skills. The first thing that came to my mind was that we all have now a pretty good knowledge of the time schedules of the 9106 bus line, but I don't think we can brag about this. Then my second thought was that we have all been confronted to data. We have all learned to treat it rigorously and to analyze it carefully. And I truly believe this is one of our greatest shared assets, as only a few people are able to do this. But let's not get cocky and rest on our laurels. Every year, new techniques are discovered and new programs are released that improve data analysis. And it is therefore very important to keep up with the new tools that are available. Finally, the third skill that I have in mind is that we have all shown to be quite good at apprehending challenging concepts that are at the frontier of what is currently undertaken in research. It is a great transition to talk about the values that have been instilled in us. I warn you, I'm about to repeat stuff that have already been said by the director and also by Jonah, but I think it's a good thing because it means that they have indeed been instilled in us. I'll start with the most obvious value, hard work. We live the student life not being afraid of tackling complex problems, even though it involves spending hours trying to solve them. The second value is endurance. As I said in my introduction, it was not an easy journey. And I think this COVID experience has even made us more resilient. Third, we have learned to value excellence and to set our standards high. This is great. Although I've learned it is also important to be indulgent towards ourselves. It's impossible to be the best in everything. And it's okay, we can fail. It's not the end of the world. What's important is that we have given our greatest shot. Fourth, there is the value of openness. We have all had the chance of interacting with people coming from various backgrounds, from different countries and with different cultures. Personally, it has allowed me to really learn how to put things into perspective, both in my professional and personal life. It leads me to another related value, innovation. Not only have we mastered the current knowledge in our field, but we have also learned to question it and to contribute to its improvement. And when I hear about what graduates do now, and Jonah's speech was a really good example, I can't help thinking that we all live the student life still thirsty for better answers. I am going to end this list, with ambition. We tend to forget about it, but the IP Paris institutions have molded some of the greatest and most influential minds in each of our fields. We are their worthy successors. So let's aim high. We are bright. We have energy. We have dreams. So don't restrain ourselves and let's express our ideas. But again, we have to do this while remaining humble. What I'm about to say is a bit cliche, but we are young and we still have a lot to learn. I would like to carry on with one of my favorite proverbs. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I like this proverb because it describes pretty well public policies. Most of them are designed with pure intentions, yet sometimes they end up being quite inefficient and being very costly for public finances. The reason behind this is that individuals adapt their behavior when rules change, and it's not easy to predict who and how. This is why I want to use the technical skills that I learned at IP Paris to better understand human decisions and to provide solutions to allocate public funds in better ways. In other words, I want to dedicate myself to public policy evaluation. More specifically, I aim at contributing to the improvement of the statistical tools that are used to evaluate public policy. And these tasks requires jumping back and forth between theory and data. I am constantly challenged to think out of the box, as the results that I find are rarely the ones that I expect. But with a list of skills and values I previously mentioned in mind, I feel actually prepared for this task I've set up for myself. Well, I still need some training, and this is why I have decided to continue the adventures by doing a PhD at Crest at IP Paris. But I know I'm on the right tracks. Finally, I would like to finish my speech by saying that I'm really looking forward to seeing what is going to be IP Paris in 10 years. To be completely honest, I was a bit appalled when I first came 3 years ago. The NSA building where I had my classes and my accommodations were brand new, but otherwise there was no shop, no restaurant, not even a sidewalk to commute from my room to the school. But wow, in 3 years, so many things have changed. Half of the campus has emerged. A new metro line is under construction. Amenities keep coming. We can finally embrace the great potential of IP Paris as the forthcoming major European education and research institution. The next big step will consist in creating a nurturing environment that stimulates innovation and new projects through exchanges. So far, I've been a bit frustrated because I have only had a few opportunities to talk to people that were not NSA nor Master in Economics students. Unfortunately, links are still scarce between the 5 institutions. There are still too few moments and too few places when and where students from different programs can interact with each other. But as I said, I'm optimistic about the future. The needs have been determined and a new team has been hired to put things on the right track. And I truly believe we represent the first generation of a soon-to-be great community of proud IP Paris graduates. And I will conclude on this emphasis. Yes, we can be proud of ourselves. We have all achieved a demanding program in quite unusual conditions, and we are now well equipped with skills and values to face the great challenges of the 21st century. I can't wait to see all the inspiring things that you will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Felix, for this speech, for sharing your experience, and for those positive words. We are now going to welcome our keynote speaker, Rémi Danglars, who is an alumnus of École Polytechnique and who did his PhD at the LADIX, one of IP Paris laboratories, and who founded Stila, a biotech startup. Rémi, the floor is yours.
Hi, thanks Astrid for the invitation. I hope you can all hear me well. Yes?
Yes.
Confirmed? Okay, good. Yes, so thanks for the invitation. I'm glad to have this opportunity to give a testimony of what can be done in terms of career after a master's at Institut Polytechnique. So actually, I'm right now the CTO and the founder of a company called Stila Technologies. We're a biotech company working in the field of genomics. We develop high precision instruments to do genetic analysis. And we are applying that to numerous fields like cell and gene therapies or cancer diagnostics and monitoring. So really amazing and fascinating stuff that we are doing. But what I wanted to say is that in practice, when I look back at how I came to where I am today, my career actually started the day I decided to do a master's degree at what was then École Polytechnique. Institut Polytechnique did not exist 12 years ago, but it would be today called Institut Polytechnique. It started that day, and it's a bit odd because it was a master's in fluid mechanics, and I'm today doing genomics, so the relationship is quite far. But as you'll see, it's really highly connected. And so I'll share a bit of my story to give you a bit of a flavor of where the education you've had up to today can potentially lead you. And so what happened, I was already interested by science. I mean, I'm still today very much interested by science. And during this master's, I had, I think, a unique opportunity to invent a fluid mechanics, which I fell in love with, called microfluidics. Became curious in a different variety of fields and ended up finding the perfect key applications in what we do today at Stilla, which is digital PCR, high precision genetic analysis. And by 2012, so 3 years after my PhD, after when I finished my PhD, I decided to create a company, Stilla Technologies, focusing on this application. And the funny thing is, the day I created the company, I actually hadn't done any genomics myself ever. I hadn't even done a PCR reaction or any biologic experiments, ever in my life. And yet I set out to change the way genomics is being done in labs by putting on the market a new technology that could allow what our customers today, but essentially scientists, do more in terms of genomics. And so I started with a team of 3-4 people in 2013, and that was 7 years ago already. And in the scope of 7 years, we created our product, a full system to do genetic analysis that incorporates instruments, consumable, chemistry, biologics, obviously, but also software, data analysis. And so it's been just an amazing journey of science, essentially. A lot of business also, but a lot of science in many different fields. And it's been absolutely fascinating and fantastic. And again, really, it all started out with this master's degree at École Polytechnique, or Institut Polytechnique for you. And so today, Stilla, we're a thriving company. We're a company that has almost 100 employees. We have business in all regions of the world. I have, the immense pride today that, the instruments I invented, we now have hundreds in the world, placed in countries all over Europe, in China, Japan, Korea, the US, Canada. I mean, a bit of everywhere. And I am passionate about science, and what makes me more passionate today is that through my work, through the company that I created, I've empowered other scientists to do their work and to push the frontiers of science, and that's really a key achievement for me in my early career. And I hope we'll do a ton more in the coming years in the company. So yeah, so what can you take out of this yourself? You just completed your master's, and so what can you take out of my story? Well, the first thing I want to highlight is that, in my opinion, you have a unique opportunity that very few people have in their life. Your current education really empowers you to address fantastic challenges and to have career opportunities that very few will have. And my first kind, it's even more than a tip, it's a request, make the most out of it. You're fortunate. I think you have a fantastic education background, and so make the best of it and do it the best way that fits you. Myself, I decided to take the entrepreneurial way and created my own company while doing a PhD, creating my company. But there are tons of other ways to express the potential you have by joining a company today and as an engineer, as a scientist, and having your own contributions. But you could also do it by continuing your career in academia and pushing science, or whatever other way you think is best. Secondly, you're highly specialized by now. You probably have spent a lot of time digging into a specific field, but by no means you're stuck there. Look at what I did. I started in fluid mechanics. I'm today in genomics. So you have potential to go everywhere and to make an impact everywhere in the world. And the last and third thing is I really encourage you to invest your science, to develop science, because today's challenges, in my opinion, can be really addressed through science. And I think the example of the Moderna BioNTech vaccines is the best current visible example of this. But science is a long-term investment. So you're just getting started. So keep going. And I know if you invest 10 years of your life in a field, in scientific field or whatever, you will make a change, but have also the patience to go in depth as you've started right now, but go further and it will pay out. Yeah, that's my testimony, and I all wish you the best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much, Remy, for this inspiring speech and your recommendation and encouragement to our graduates. We will now welcome our last speaker, Yves Laszlo, who is the chairman of IP Paris Education and Research Committee. Yves, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Astrid. Hello, everyone. Dear students, I am so glad to welcome you today to celebrate your success. You placed your trust in us, and we have been deeply honored and thrilled to have you on our campus for the last 2 years. During your studies in each of the schools of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris, your teachers had adhered to train you for the years to come. In return, you have not stopped demonstrating great dedication, curiosity, and academic excellence. The hard and soft skills, the scientific capabilities and culture that you have acquired during these years will be tools to help you adapt to the outside world and the demands of the life that awaits you. Today, perhaps more than ever, because the context demands it, your ability to think and act to the best of your ability will enable you to find solutions to the most complex problems. It is a day that you are not ready to forget, that we will not forget either. It is a historical day. You are the very first to graduate from a master's degree of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris. You must know that the inauguration of the graduate school 2 years ago was the first stone in the edifice of the construction of the Institut Polytechnique de Paris, a first success of which we are proud and that calls for others, and of which you are now the very first ambassadors. During these few years on campus, and despite this health crisis that we have been going through for almost a year, you also participated in a rich student life. As you joined associations, practiced sports, or enjoyed cultural events, you have met and bonded with people of exceptional as yourselves. We are proud today award diplomas to our first generation of alumni and to count you as ambassadors for the years to come. Some of you will go on to do PhDs, putting your knowledge at the service of research and scientific progress. Others will start their professional life. But you will all be the very first ambassadors of the IP Paris Masters, of the values that have been transmitted to you, and of scientific excellence that we were keen to teach you. It is now your turn to use your talent to serve society. On behalf of all faculty members, congratulations. But the most important is definitely think big. Find your own way to be an actor for building a better, a more inclusive, a more sustainable world. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Yves. Conclusion. We were not able to celebrate together today your graduation in person because of the pandemic. So before ending that ceremony, we wanted to bring a little bit of normality to that celebration and allowed you to upload all your fellow graduates, your faculty members, and all the people from that panel. So for all the people on Zoom, we're going to open all your mics, and we're going to invite you to upload all your fellow graduates, your faculty members, and the panelists. And for those who are watching on YouTube, we invite you to do the same right now. Thank you very much, everyone. The last word before we finish the ceremony. As I said, we were not able to gather today all together in one room, but we will organize in a year or so an event and gather and come with you all together to celebrate your success in person. We will, in a few weeks, you will receive an email for you to set up your alumni address. Don't forget to set up your email address, and we will contact you and inform you about the date and location of that event. The ceremony has now come to an end. I wish you all the best. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.